This topic is hilarious on a superficial level, but on a deeper level, it is so, so painful for me. And therefore, it was really difficult to make this video. So deep breath, and here goes. It's International Women's Day, and so what better thing to talk about than this? In case you missed it, TechCrunch announced that in a bizarre attempt to woo women, Binance, the biggest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, has released wait for it, Perfume. Oh my God. Because the crypto space is not only overtly hostile to women, it's like 90% of it ain't never talked to a girl. Binance calls its Perfume a luxurious fusion of exotic ingredients, including HODL, DYOR, YOLO, and oh my God. And what does crypto perfume smell like, you ask? Ozone, because it's killing our planet. Just kidding, that really is not true. I actually have a whole video on crypto's impact on the environment that you should check out. So in actual honor of International Women's Day, because I am one of literally like 3 women in crypto and none of them work at Binance, obviously, I'm going to spill the tea regarding what it's really like to be a woman in this space. Then I'll share what the world of crypto can actually do to support the feminine instead of dumb. If we don't already know one another, I used to be a career profitable pro stock trader in Chicago and on Wall Street before the misogyny drove me to quit. Needless to say, that same misogyny is alive in the world of crypto today. And I cannot stress enough how furious it makes me and how much grief I feel about it. Because that misogyny has made my life and work so much harder. But the key difference between the worlds of legacy finance and cryptocurrency is this. Decentralized tech gives us the ability to build new ecosystems that transcend that discrimination. And so that's what I came to the world of cryptocurrency to do. I started buying Bitcoin in 2013 because I was so excited about the technology's potential. And that same year I founded Seeds, our crypto mutual aid project, which has since helped people in need in 30 countries and counting. Seeds is an economic ecosystem that's about restoring a healthy balance of feminine energy. Because we haven't had that, it's hurt women and it's hurt us all. When you help someone in need through Seeds, you get Seeds cryptocurrency in thanks to empower you to build wealth through giving. You probably saw that literally just today, Bitcoin broke $70,000 a coin for the first time in its 15-year existence. This is an especially big deal because the Bitcoin halving, which happens roughly every 4 years and has historically kicked off the big market moves that we've seen, is still 40 days away. And as the oldest, best known, and most expensive cryptocurrency, Bitcoin still has an enormous impact on the cryptocurrency sector as a whole. So I want to offer a counterpoint to the toxic energy in the space to help women and folks of any gender who have a lot of healthy feminine energy to understand how to benefit from these tools and to make it clear that good quality decentralized projects are not bad for the environment. Because the rise of the feminine is happening. The astrology points toward decentralization and Earth is going through ascension. So at this time, we especially need an ecosystem like Seeds, grounded in building abundance through giving to help us transition from the old self-interested economic paradigm. Okay, so the biggest problem with misogyny and misofem, which is a word I made up to label the denigration of feminine energy in people of all genders, that I have seen in the crypto space has to do with the fact that people will just leave the feminine out to die. Less than 2% of venture capital, the funding that powers tech organizations, went to women-founded companies in 2022. And that's in tech broadly. In the world of cryptocurrency, it's even worse. There really are literally like 3 women who have founded cryptocurrency ecosystems that are still around today. And this is happening as virtually the only narrative we're seeing in mainstream media is about male fraudsters that convince people that everything in crypto is a scam. A narrative has made it much harder for Seeds to connect with the people who would really like an alternative to late-stage capitalism. These factors have meant that I've gone broke personally, like 15, 20 times, maybe more, while doing everything I could to keep Seeds alive over the years. I never slept on the street, but at one point I was homeless in San Francisco, stealing food from the Whole Foods on the corner because I wasn't worried about my hunger harming Bezos. Seriously though, I practice Vipassana meditation and I don't want to break Sheila and steal, but I didn't know what else to do. This was just post Me Too, so there actually was some lip service regarding women in tech and maybe supporting them, but barely. While this was going down, the female founder of a food delivery service company told me that she would send me $200 to buy groceries. I didn't ask for this, she just offered. But then she didn't send it and she just disappeared. In another instance, there was an investor who said that she wanted to support female founders, and she invested in seeds. I later introduced her to a male crypto founder. She invested twice as much in his organization as she did in ours. Obviously, there's complexity there, like maybe she just liked his idea better, or she thought he would be a better leader. We can't quantify how much internalized misogyny factored into that particular decision. But what I can factually state is that that male founder was using an idea that I had given him, and he went on to raise over $5 million from Barclays Bank and other VC. When I asked him for some form of credit because I'd given him the idea, he refused. He later sexually assaulted me, and when I spoke out about that, he hired a lawyer to send me a cease and desist. When I made the investor I had introduced him to aware that this had happened, she didn't even bother replying to me. He later blew through all the money, all $5 million, and his crypto organization failed. Y'all, this was an unbelievably isolating experience. I don't mean to overly pin blame on the internalized misogyny in a couple of women, though the terrible behavior of that male founder is just beyond the pale. And I'm not perfect myself. I believe that everyone has internalized misogyny and misofem to some degree until we do the work to fully heal and release it. And it's past time to do that work now. So I want to be clear that this problem is systemic. It's endemic to late-stage capitalism, because capitalism is designed to reward self-interest at the expense of all else. This is why seeds exist, so that we have another option. We can choose a healthier way, grounded in building confidence for all involved, in feminine energy and in giving. Just before this grocery thing happened, I was at a meeting for female founders immediately prior to Me Too. The founder of the food delivery startup was also there. At the meeting, I took it upon myself to make a shared Google Sheet so that people could share their experiences with misogyny and/or sexual harassment while raising money for their companies. The founder of the food delivery service suggested that we not name the perpetrators. And I assumed that no one would care about my spreadsheet because I was so used to feeling shunned and ignored when I spoke up against misogyny. But this spreadsheet was flooded with stories of misconduct. And then obviously things snowballed. But the focus of Me Too became about sexual harassment and sexual assault. Obviously, we need to eradicate those things, but we also need to eradicate the other, often more nuanced ways the system shuts feminine energy down, including economically. So though I spoke to the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal back then, nobody was interested in delving into the systemic and energetic root causes, which I am certain are about toxic masculinity and the design of late-stage capitalism itself. Buckminster Fuller said you can never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. So this is exactly what Seeds is working to do. I want Seeds to eliminate the need for VC at all, so you can just redeem a seed to get the support that your organization requires. I want it to eliminate the need for anyone to work a job that they hate, which so many of us are forced to do in the old system because we need money to survive. Anyone can redeem a seed to ask for help and receive it as a gift from our community. Those who give receive an equal or greater value in seeds and thanks at market price at the time of your gift. When seeds go up in market value, generous people benefit even more so. You can trade the seeds, stake them to provide financial access to people around the world, which also makes you eligible for bonuses and airdrops, and can earn you a passive income through fees, and/or you can redeem the seeds to ask for help yourself. Because when we offer people the support and resourcing they need to heal and create, they're going to build even more abundance, both energetically and monetarily. Y'all, the idea of self-interest being central to capitalism dates back to Adam Smith's publication of The Wealth of Nations in 1776. Smith wrote that it's not from the benevolence of the butcher, the brewer, or the baker that we expect our dinner, but from their regard to their own interests. But who was making Adam Smith his dinner? His mother, whom he lived with for most of his adult life. So the person whose ideas form the bedrock of our current economic system was too dense and oblivious to see that a mother is unlikely to feed her children exclusively out of self-interest. And it didn't even occur to him to assess the value in that. And he developed an entire theory of economics that we're still trapped beneath, which has no conception of feminine contribution. For my astrology heads who know that the United States has been going through its Pluto return based on the date of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the good news is that this means means that Smith's vision for late-stage capitalism, published in 1776, has been going through its Pluto return also. That's the other thing. The more I learn, the more certain I am that Seeds is aligned with where the energies are heading, in part because the old system centers self-interest and doesn't leave space for giving. It's why the for-profit, non-profit binary has had to exist, which Seeds now exists to transcend. There are many, many other personal stories I could share. Another topic is the enormous problems I've had with misogyny in software engineers and the way that's undermined my efforts as a founder and left Seeds with significant product improvement needs. But for today, I want to leave you with this. Binance, instead of doing this darn, recognize that women like giving. 64% of charitable donations in the US are made by women. An obstacle for us has been that very few people know about Seeds. Another consequence of us being so under-resourced. If you have visibility in the crypto space or beyond, ask your community to support Seeds. You can support Seeds with Ether at the links in the description. You can also make gifts to help people in need through Seeds with a debit or credit card, and you'll receive Seeds cryptocurrency in thanks. Take those Seeds and stake them in the Seeds Ether pool on Uniswap because it functions as our mutual aid pool. It's what's allowed us to directly aid women in places like South Sudan, where we've been told women aren't issued federal IDs and therefore cannot open bank accounts. But they do have access to DeFi through mobile phones. So Seeds can leapfrog those limitations to help them out. Seeds was even able to do this when a UN aid organization up and left, so we also filled the gap where traditional aid fell short. Lots of people in the mainstream hate crypto, and for good reason. The energy has not been good in the sector for a long, long time. I'm not aware of a single other project like Seeds that is building abundance through giving, and something like that deserves to be uplifted so it can help even more people, especially women.